Hey guys, this is Tiffany again with the Nerdettes, and I'm back to review Star Trek Discovery, and this is episode 6 titled Lethe. And I just want to start by talking about the title and what it means. So, for those that don't know, Lethe is actually Greek and it's from mythology. Lethe was the Greek spirit of forgetfulness and oblivion. So, basically, the word actually means like oblivion or obliviousness, forgetfulness, concealment, that type of thing. So this episode definitely for that type of title, we'll talk about that more as we get into the episode. So anyways, it starts off with the Vulcans, and it kind of seems to be going back in the maybe past and present, maybe a little bit. We definitely see Sarek and just a lot of different Vulcans interacting, and of course we see Michael running with Sylvia down the corridors of the ship, wearing shirts that say disco, of all things, and that she actually makes an Enterprise reference, which I thought was cool. So Lorca's in like this battle simulation with Lieutenant Ash Tyler, and they're like simulating a battle with the Klingons and that type of thing, which is so basically Lorca is, they're able to survive and win. It's kind of like a crew building type thing, like, team building. And he actually seems to be building his crew even more because obviously, he's adding more people on board with him. So anyways, there's a Vulcan fanatic that we see. He talks about human inferiority, how they're inferior, and with Sarek on board, and he tries. It's almost like he injects something into himself and tries to like self-destruct this entire ship with Sarek on board. Sarek's able to kind of stop it, but not in enough time. He's obviously hurt, and the ship is damaged as well. So not good. But so Michael, like while this happens, Ash is like trying to shake her hand during mealtime, and she goes like, Tilly has to nudge her to be like, shake his hand. She goes to do it because they're obviously being introduced, I guess I should say, and she has like a weird reaction all of a sudden, and she like crumples to the floor, and she has that mind meld, that Vulcan, Vulcan mind meld connection with, because she does have Sarek's Katra still in her, and she sees that Sarek is hurt and that he needs help. And she also, like, he is inviting her into his mind, into his memories, and like his subconscious self, when he realizes that she's there, he like kicks her out because apparently it's something he doesn't want her to see. And so she wakes up, she's in the sick bay. She talks about how her and Sarek share a soul through this Katra, through this mind meld connection. She tries to explain it, that like why she's having this reaction, because no one can understand, because nothing seems to be going on externally or internally with her. It just all seems to be somehow weirdly induced. So obviously she has to explain it. So anyways, it goes back to her talking about how Vulcan renegades once tried to kill her. She begs Lorca to help her find Sarek, and because obviously she's worried about him, and they are able to track him down in the Eurydia Nebula. The scientist talks about boosting her neural capabilities to even more so she has a better communication with him. And during this time, Captain Lorca gets a communication from Admiral Cornwell that her cruiser's there. So they have to, Michael is going to go get closer to Sarek so she can figure out what's going on. And while they're out, the ambassador shows up. So, anyway, she's actually, her cruiser's there. And Michael's having like this, come to terms on him because she realizes that Sarek's last thought as he's dying or maybe going to die is her failure, that she feels like it's like her failure to be the Vulcan he wanted her to be. And so he, that's what she gets from it. Well, Ash actually talks to Michael because he's with her, and he helps her to realize maybe this is like, what would you think about in your final moments? And would it be a regret, something you want to change, that you wish you could do different? And he helps her to realize this is actually something that he wants to change. There's something here that he would do differently. So she goes back in the memory, and she finally gets, like, of course she's, having hand-to-hand combat with Sarek, and she finally tells him that she's here because he, something's wrong with him, and she wants to help him, that she has part of his katra for a reason. So finally she's able to stay long enough, and he doesn't want to show her what he regrets or wants to change, but she convinces him to do so. And she sees Sarek talking about his son Spock, and how the council is telling him that they will only accept one for the Vulcan expedition crew. And it's either going to be Michael, who is human, but has these amazing test scores, who scored so high, and is, far exceeding even Vulcans in her in this, test capability, or it can be his son, who is obviously Spock. So, of course, as we know, Spock ended up choosing Starfleet over the Vulcan expedition crew, and that's something that he greatly regrets and wishes he could go back and change, is to choose her for the Vulcan expedition crew as opposed to Spock, and feels like he betrayed her, obviously, in a way. So, whereas she thought it was her failure, Sarek actually tells her that he failed her. And it's one of those moments, like, it's so heart-wrenching, because obviously to her he's like a father figure, very much so. And she talks to Sarek about the mind meld, and just like it's really rough. Like, Sarek actually, she mind melds with him, and like she tells him, show me how you healed me when I needed you. So he has her like do the same thing, put her hands on his, my mind to your mind, thing, and he's able to wake up enough to hit the transponder signal so they can locate him and get a fix on him, so they can hopefully get him to medbay and see what they can do for him. So anyways, Lorca, we see him as he is in bed, and he has obviously slept with the Admiral as usual, and he's laying in bed, and she wakes up, like she's rolled on her side, like looking at him, and on his back are like these crazy scars. There's one, it's like in the shape of a triangle, and then there's like a long welt, almost like he got hit with a whip of some kind, maybe. And she goes to like touch it, and he just has like this violent reaction. Like, he immediately rolls up and over with phaser in hand, pointed at her like he's gonna kill her. And she, of course, is none too happy. Like, she's like, you keep a phaser in bed with you? Like, obviously she feels like, he's like, from her prior knowledge of him, she's like, you're still the same. You're like, she immediately is trying to get out of the room and leave him there. It's just she obviously sees something that obviously there's a dark nature that we can see already, but there's more to it. I'm sure. Of why he is so fascinated by war and how he got these scars. It's like, I hate to say it, but it's like that Joker moment. You want to know how I got these scars? That, yes, I do. Yes, I would like to know how you got those scars. So Lorca, after all this happens, decides to make Michael an official science specialist. And she actually says something rather intriguing. She says that she is grateful to serve under a captain like him. And it's really interesting because obviously she served under Captain Philippa Georgiou, and now she's here, and for her to say that means a lot, man. So dang. But the after all this happens, like Sarek is brought into the ship, obviously gonna get him to medbay, and he acts like he doesn't remember the mind meld. So she's like, don't you remember the connection, like what we saw, everything that happened, so they talk about basically what she saw and the what just has happened. And during this time, the Admiral Cornwell decides to take this shuttle because Sarek was on a mission for this peace mission to go meet with the Klingons and try to establish peace again. So the Admiral wants to take that, gauntlet and make this happen. So Michael, at the same time, seems to, in a way, maybe accept her emotions a little bit. Obviously it's against the Vulcan way to have emotions, but she is quickly realizing that they are helping her in an even more profound way than maybe most Vulcans can realize. So, have that kind of moment. The Admiral arrives, meets with the Vulcans. They kill her, compatriots that are with her two, I guess, backup, and take her prisoner pretty much. And at the very end, Saru has to tell Lorca that she's been abducted. So, of course, this can only mean bad things. They obviously have some sort of intent. What they want to do here, who knows? I don't know what they're gonna, maybe ransom her or kill her as an example. I don't really know what their game plan here is, but definitely not good. So anyways, that was this episode of episode 6, which is Lethe. And so I think in this meaning, maybe it means concealment, the fact that Sarek was trying to conceal his what happened in the past. Maybe I don't think it really means forgetfulness with this episode. Maybe it's more of, I really want to say it focuses on Sarek, of concealment, and maybe even, in many ways, because obviously we have Sarek concealing this, thing that he regrets and wants to change. We have, this whole time Michael's been trying to conceal her emotions, and now they're coming forth. We have Captain Lorca trying to conceal his past and why he has a phaser in bed. Obviously, there's a lot of different things going on here. So, who knows? We'll see what happens next. But yeah, this was a really good episode. I am obviously one behind, so I do need to catch up with the one that just aired yesterday. So I will definitely be catching up with that this week and doing a review on it as well. I'm reviewing Ruby and The Walking Dead currently, as well as The Orville, and I'll be reviewing Doctor Who and Game of Thrones when they come back, as well as I'm sure many other shows. We already finished reviewing Stranger Things 2, so definitely check that out. We have unboxings of Loot Crate and Loot Anime, as well as Scotchbot's Japanese snacks that we try live on the air, and it's hilarious as we kind of react to those different snacks from Japan. We have Fandom of the Month is coming, and we have a lot of cool stuff from Anime Bento coming. So really excited about that. We have a Destiny 2 giveaway going on right now, so if you'd like to win that game for yourself or maybe a friend, check out that video on how you could win Destiny 2 and the instructions there. And also, if you maybe don't necessarily want Destiny 2, but we'll be doing more giveaways as we get closer to Christmas. Starting in November, we're going to be doing probably a giveaway every week, if not, depending on how big the item is, because I know at least 2 of them I want to do for you guys. But yeah, we're probably going to ramp it up even bigger as it gets closer to Christmas and give away those to people who subscribe. So if you want to win some cool, awesome stuff, go ahead and subscribe. And you can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/thenerdettes. And hopefully you like all the content. And if you want to see anything more, let us know. We always want to hear your thoughts. We really appreciate you guys watching, and hope to see you back again next time. Thank you guys again. Bye.